I still remember the feel of that house key on a shoelace around my neck. I'd let myself in after school, and the house was quiet. Just me, nobody hovering. You figured out your afternoon on your own. We didn't have a name for it then. Later, somebody called us the latchkey kids, and later still, the forgotten generation, Gen X. The ones squeezed between the boomers and the millennials, easy to overlook. But here's what I've come to believe, sitting on this side of 50. That in-between view taught us some things, and a few of them we got right. By the end, you'll have 5 lessons from the Gen X experience that still hold up today. And here's one right away. Being overlooked isn't always a loss. Sometimes it gives you room to think for yourself. One quick thing first. I'm not saying one generation is better than another. Every generation gets handed a different world. This is just a look at what the middle seat taught us. The first thing Gen X got right was self-reliance. We grew up with less supervision than the generations on either side of us. Both parents often worked. The rule was simple: be home by dark. So we solved our own problems. That builds something in a person. A quiet confidence that says, I can probably handle this. It's why so many people my age don't panic easily. Self-reliance isn't about doing everything alone. It's about trusting that you can find a way. If you're facing something hard right now, you've likely handled harder. You just may have forgotten you did. Here's the second thing. We learned to adapt, because the ground kept moving under us. We started on rotary phones and rabbit ear televisions. We watched the internet arrive. We watched the cell phone shrink from a brick to a wafer. We didn't grow up digital, we had to cross over. And that crossing turned out to be a gift. We're not afraid of new technology because we've already learned a dozen new systems in our lifetime. AI is just the next one. And AI, when you strip away the noise, is really just a tool that gives you a helpful answer based on everything it has read before. We've taught ourselves harder things than that. When you've already changed once, change stops being frightening. It just becomes the next thing to learn. And the folks who adapt best aren't the youngest. They're the ones who've already survived a few big changes and lived to tell about it. The third thing Gen X got right was a healthy dose of skepticism. We came of age watching big promises fall apart. So when something sounds too good to be true, we pause. When everyone's rushing toward the same shiny thing, we hang back a beat and ask why. Doubt, used wisely, isn't negativity. It's patience wearing a different coat. The fourth thing connects to a simple idea I come back to often. I call it the more and less method. It's just 2 questions. What do I need more of? And what do I need less of? Gen X figured this out naturally. We watched people chase the bigger house, the longer hours, the fuller calendar, and it didn't always lead anywhere good. So a lot of us quietly chose differently. More time with the people who matter. Less keeping up with everyone else. More meaning. Less noise. That's the whole method. You don't need a giant life overhaul. You just keep asking those 2 questions and adjusting as you go. So here's a question to sit with today. What in your life right now deserves more of you? And what quietly deserves less? The fifth thing might be the most important. We learned what real connection is worth, partly because we remember life without the constant version of it. We grew up making plans in person, calling a friend on a phone attached to the wall. We knew what it was to be out of touch, and then to reconnect face to face and feel how much that mattered. So now, in a world where you can reach anyone instantly and still feel alone, we know the difference between being in contact and being truly connected. 100 messages a day isn't closeness. One real conversation is. So there are the 5. Self-reliance, adaptability, healthy skepticism, the more and less method, and real connection. Not because any generation is better, just because the middle view taught us a few things worth keeping. Here's one small thing to do in the next day. Pick the one of these 5 that feels most true to your life. Write down a single sentence about how it shaped you. That sentence is a piece of your own wisdom, made visible. The ones with the key around our necks, figuring it out as we went. And maybe that's exactly why we have something steady to offer now. If this resonated, subscribe for more honest conversations about living your best life after 50. And tell me in the comments, what's one thing you think your generation got right? The next chapter doesn't need to impress anyone. It just needs to matter to you.